There have been many great WWE video games over the years, and on the other hand, there have been some that weren't so great. However, what about those free-to-play WWE games on mobile devices? Well, luckily for you, I have the ability to capture gameplay from those using my iPad and iPhone, so let's take a look at them, shall we?
Rockpocalypse is a 2013 free-to-play swiping beat-em-up game for iOS and Android devices developed by Thruster and released by World Wrestling Entertainment. The player takes control of the Rock after the world has been hit with some sort of biological weapon, causing the citizens to turn into violent, angry beasts, according to the game's description on the App Store, and not zombies. The Great One comes to the conclusion that he must fight his way out of the movie studio soundstage and discovers what's the cause of all this ruckus. The game is nothing but an Infinity Blade clone, and a poor and uninteresting one at that. The combat is done by swiping directions, dodging is done by tapping, and occasionally you'll see the Rock pull off some sort of wrestling move. That's of course if you can get the controls to do what you actually are trying to do. And also like Infinity Blade, before combat you can look around for helpful items. Taking a page out of the Infinity Blade book, after the Rock defeats his opponents he can upgrade his stats, gear, and even skills, so the game gives the players a decent bit of customization for the Brahma Bull, and some of the wonky weapons admittedly make me laugh. I really like the bear glove. The overall presentation of the game is okay. I think the graphics are decent enough for a free-to-play title, and the sound bites before each battle are okay, but they do get tiring. There's only so many times you can hear The Rock say the same catchphrases over and over again without it getting repetitive. Admittedly, I didn't get very far into this game due to the fact that the combat is just so boring. Unlike other games in this genre, I never felt that I was enjoying the fight, and that's a big problem.
Quiet on the set. The Rock's about to whoop some candy ass.
Would you believe this isn't the worst licensed WWE game for mobile devices? No? Well, what world are you living in that you've actually played and heard of John Cena's Fastlane?
Can this even qualify itself as a game? There's so little gameplay that it's rather incredible that the WWE would even put their name on this garbage. The game starts in Boston where John Cena introduces you to his friend and the illegal world of street racing. The gameplay is literally holding your finger on the accelerator button until the race begins, and occasionally tapping another button when the shift gear turns yellow. That's it. At least I think that's it. I did several other races trying to figure out if there was more to this game, and other than occasionally buying upgrades for your car, there doesn't seem to be much more. I will give the game some credit. They do allow some customization of your car to make it feel unique and like your own, but really, nothing as interesting as the bear glove, so who the hell cares? But if you'd like to, feel free to share your car's design on social media. I don't know who the hell would like to do this, but it's an option that's available. The game's presentation is ugly as well. The car model itself is okay, but the drawn cartoonish characters look really out there and kind of bizarre. And is it me, or does it look like the background is moving during the race and not the car itself? If you really need to play a mobile racing game, Need for Speed Most Wanted is pretty decent.
Luckily for wrestling fans, there are two fantastic free-to-play WWE licensed games.
From Cat Daddy Games and Take-Two Interactive comes the addictively fun collectible card game WWE Super Card. In Super Card, you collect cards of various WWE superstars and battle them against other users' decks. You select 5 cards before the start of each match, 4 superstars, a diva, and 2 support cards. Support cards are things like managers or weapons that'll either boost your own stats or lower your opponent's. Before each round, the game will display a stat category. The card played with the higher number will pick up the victory. After winning 2 out of 3 matches, you can select new cards from a deck that matches your appropriate deck level. The higher you rank, the better the rewards. If you want better cards, you can also level them up by combining them with other, or combining 2 of the same card to make a pro version of that card. But here's a tip. You should always max out the 2 cards before making them a pro. They'll have better stats overall that way. The game features several other modes that slightly vary the gameplay a little. In King of the Ring, you select your best cards, and the computer simulates matches against a boatload of opponents. And if you've won enough matches, you'll compete in a tournament-style bracket just like King of the Ring. The prizes here are great, but it just takes so long to do. It's insanely time-consuming and rather tedious. The other two modes are more event-style modes that aren't always available. There's People's Championship Challenge, where you take sides between two superstars and then battle for that superstar to reign supreme, and if you rank high enough, you win different rewards. And there's my favorite mode, Road to Glory, where you take your best 20 cards and fight it out in a bit of a gauntlet-style battle royal to earn your way up the ladder and face tougher and more difficult cards with each win. I like this mode a bit more because after each victory, you get to choose up to 6 cards instead of the usual 2. I love this game's overall presentation. Sure, a deck of cards isn't really much to look at, but the sound effects during each fight and the music never get tiresome, and no matter how many times I see them, the animations with the cards doing wrestling moves is always ridiculously enjoyable.
WWE Super Card is a phenomenal game and a great way to waste time. This is coming from personal experience. Half the reason this video took so long to get to all of you is because while I was playing Super Card and the next game, my favorite game, WWE Immortals.
WB Games and NetherRealm Studios bring the world WWE Immortals. Immortals is a collectible card-based fighting game where teams of 3 square off against each other in an awesomely ridiculous concept. The opening tells us that the Authority has stolen Bray Wyatt's lantern. They don't quite understand its power, and because of this, Triple H and Stephanie have opened the realms to other dimensions where superstars are over-the-top versions of themselves. Who says you can't have fun with a wrestling license? Combat goes a little something like this. Weak attacks are done by tapping one finger, strong attacks by swiping. If you connect with several of either of these in a row, you'll be able to land a stronger version of each attack, completing a combo. As you connect with each move, you're building up meter. Building up meter allows you to hit over-the-top variations of signature moves and finishers. You can also block moves by holding 2 fingers, but who does that? You know, blocking's for pansies. In order to keep the game time-consuming and a bit of a grind, each superstar uses stamina for each battle. Each battle costs a certain amount, and when your superstar is out of it, you have either 2 options, purchasing more or waiting out a timer for it to restore. It's a negative, but it's meant to keep players from grinding great cards all day. After winning matches, the game rewards you with credits, which you can spend on booster decks, character cards, or talent cards, or you can choose your superstar and upgrade their moveset. The game is broken down into 2 main modes, play and online match. In play, you select a battle and fight in a gauntlet-style arcade fighting ladder. Some have various handicaps like win under a certain amount of time or random tagging in and out, but for the most part, it's fight and proceed. Online matches are a little different. You have the option to either do 1 battle, win 3, or 5 in a row against other users' decks. For winning these, you move up on the leaderboard, and at the end of each tournament, the better rank you are, the better prizes you're given. As much as I've enjoyed Immortals, the game isn't perfect. In my time playing it, I've encountered many glitches, including the messed up move animations like this one here that I was able to capture, where Trish just stands there as the Undertaker attempts to tombstone pile driver. I can't also count how many times I've seen the 2-on-1 glitch, and I hope they update the game sooner or later so it includes more superstars. However, these things can be fixed with updates, so that's good. I haven't covered everything there is to talk about WWE Immortals, but I can tell you I've had a blast playing it.
And there you have it, a look at all the free-to-play WWE mobile games. If you're into gaming, I can't recommend SuperCard and Immortals enough.